Meeting's called to order. Please stand for the pledge. Welcome, everyone, to the February regular meeting for the Community High School District 94 Board of Education. Mission statement, please.
Community High School strives to promote and provide growth experiences in learning, leadership, and living.
Thank you, Rich. Board agreements, please.
Speaking with one voice. No individual board member other than the board president, per board policy, has the authority to act or speak on behalf of the board without the consent of the board. Board members have an obligation to express their opinions and respect each other's opinions at the board table. Board members understand the importance of speaking with one clear voice to the superintendent. Board members have the right to disagree with the decision of the board, but will support the board in its decision by abiding by the will of the majority.
Thank you, Lynn. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Ms. Casey Meir?
Here.
Mr. Ramus?
Present.
Ms. Munoz?
Here.
Mr. Nagel?
Present.
Mr. Sake?
Present. All right, that brings us to Student of the Month.
West Chicago Community High School is proud to announce Natan Shabolko as January Student of the Month. Natan has demonstrated exceptional dedication to academics, extracurricular activities, and leadership throughout his high school career. Natan's achievements are extensive, including being named an Illinois State Scholar, an AP Scholar with distinction, and a member of both the Foreign Language Honor Society and the Music Honor Society. He has consistently earned a place on the High Honor Roll and maintains a 5.580 GPA. Natan has been a 4-year member of the band and jazz band, serving as the alto mellow section leader last year and currently as the drum major. He is also a co-captain of the Scholastic Bowl team and member of the math team. Natan has taken the reins with our oralist role in math team and completely flourished, said his teacher. He is working on higher level mathematics on his own daily. This is also a student that is highly involved in other areas of the building as well, including band, Scholastic Bowl, and so much more. Natan's future plans include studying physics in college and continuing on to graduate school. His favorite high school memory is his time in band, particularly attending the Smith-Walbridge clinics, which have been instrumental in his music development. When asked to share advice for his fellow students, Natan offered, be curious, get involved. Whatever you like, there's probably other people who also like it, and they'll probably have a club for it. Also, join math team. West Chicago Community High School congratulates Natan Shabolko on this well-deserved recognition and looks forward to seeing his future accomplishments.
Congratulations, Natan. Well done. Good news of the district.
Robert Lee capped off a fantastic high school football career with a season for the history books. He was able to help lead the West Chicago football team to the IHSA playoffs for back-to-back seasons for the first time in school history, and he did it while playing extensively on both offense and defense. On the offensive side of the ball, Robert led the team in rushing this year with 170 carries for 1,529 yards to go along with 2 catches for 22 yards. Additionally, Robert was part of multiple school records, including the longest individual touchdown run, most rushing yards in a game by the team, 622 yards against Joliet Central, number 14 in IHSA history, and the most rushing yards in a season by the team. Defensively, Robert had 9 solo tackles and 9 assisted tackles while playing cornerback for the team. He also contributed with 2 interceptions, including one that sealed the Wildcat win against Ridgewood High School. After the completion of the IHSA season, Robert was named Upstate 8 All-Conference, All-Area, Red Grange All-County, and All-State by the Illinois High School Football Coaches Association. Robert will be moving on next year to play football at St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa. We congratulate Robert on his incredible career and wish him the best next year.
Congratulations, Robert. Well done.
West Chicago Community High School District 94 has been awarded Platinum Certification for Buildings and Grounds Management by the Schools of Illinois Public Cooperative, SIPC. This recognition highlights the district's commitment to maintaining clean, safe, healthy, and efficient facilities. Community High School District 94 joined SIPC in 2024, partnering with HD Supply K-12 building experts to enhance building management practices. In January, the district underwent a 100-point assessment, achieving a perfect score and securing platinum status. Philip Olson, SIPC/HD Supply K-12 building expert, praised the district's administration, buildings and grounds director, and maintenance staff, stating, "The district has implemented the proper processes, staff, equipment, products, and training to ensure that all buildings are maintained at the highest level of cleanliness, safety, and efficiency." SIPC and HD Supply are proud to partner with Community High School District 94 and celebrate their success. The achievement would not be possible without the dedication of our maintenance and custodial teams. Mike Day, maintenance manager, joined the district in 2017 as a foreman and was promoted to manager last year. Mike is a graduate of West Chicago High School. Sergio Espinoza, custodial manager, began as a substitute custodian in 1992, became a permanent custodian in 1994, and was promoted to his current role in 2017. Sergio is also a graduate of West Chicago High School. Thank you, Mike, Sergio, and their teams for their hard work and commitment to our school community.
Well done, Mike and Sergio. All right, that brings us to public participation. This is the portion of our meeting where any member of the public may address the Board of Education on any topic. We welcome your comments and will carefully listen to your concerns. We will not be able to engage in a dialogue during public participation, but when appropriate, we will direct the administration to follow up. Presentations are limited to no more than 5 minutes per person, with a total time limit of 30 minutes for public participation. If you're making public comment, please speak slowly so the translator is able to keep up with you. If you wish to make personal charges or complaints against individual employees, volunteers, or students of the district, we request that you send the board your concerns in writing rather than stating those concerns during public comment. If anyone currently present wishes to make public comment and hasn't already done so, please fill out one of the comment forms in the back of the room and hand it to someone seated at the table. At this point, we've received no comment cards and no electronic requests for comment. So that brings us to reports and information. Director of Business Services report.
Thank you. Just a couple of updates tonight. The DuPage ROE is moving towards a web-based building permit system to replace the traditional way the ROE has completed the permit process. Architects will now be required to send everything via the new web system. The DuPage ROE does not have a timetable, but once accounts are created, the expectation will be that all documents will go through that system. Summer construction update. We did have a bid on opening on Friday, February 14th. For summer construction, which included the third floor bathroom renovations, replacement of ceiling tiles and lights, construction of the transition apartment. We did receive a lot of bids. All trades were covered underneath those bids. We're still waiting on Allied Facility Partners to provide the details of what that would, what the totals were on that bid. So hopefully, I was hoping to have that tonight, but hopefully we'll have that soon. Then lastly, this month we received 2 donations totaling $400. One for $200 from Tony Reyes Family Foundation and another $200 from the local VFW. These particular donations are not larger than the $500 threshold, requiring board approval, but they are in your packet under my report for your information. That concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Director of Human Services report.
All right, on January 29th, Dan and I attended the EBC preliminary renewal meeting. During the session, we received updates on our district's anticipated medical insurance cost for the 25-26 school year. A 4.3% increase for HMO, a 9.0% increase for PPO, and an estimated 4.1% increase for dental. Following this, on February 5th, the D94 Insurance Committee convened with our Gallagher representatives. They provided initial renewal figures and insights into the coming benefits in the new plan year. After discussion, the teachers and support staff members of the committee recommended maintaining the current plans without any changes for FY26, with an understanding that insurance costs will be split in accordance with the established language in each of the collective bargaining agreements. Next, the initial dependent eligibility audit took place between October 1st and November 15th, and the EBC is now reporting an estimated $8.6 million potential savings for the cooperative over the next 5 years. All but 2 D94 dependents were verified as eligible to continue on our medical plans through that initial audit process. Now for Appendix B. As discussed at the Committee of the Whole meeting earlier this month, the Appendix B Committee is recommending the addition of 1 head coach and 2 assistant coaches for IHSA girls flag football starting fall of 2025. The sport's successful debut and anticipated participation of 40 to 50 students support the request, and the estimated cost for the positions is approximately $9,954. This recommendation is presented for board approval this evening. We have also updated administrative job descriptions to align with the revised organizational structure. Changes include transitioning the Assistant Director of Special Education role to a 10-month work calendar and introducing positions including Executive Director of Operations and Safety, Executive Director of Professional Learning and Pathways, Director of Culture and Climate, Director of Multilingual and Multicultural Services, and Director of Post-Secondary Success. The new and updated job descriptions are presented for board approval this evening as well. On January 27th, we held our annual hiring meeting with the administrative team to prepare for the 25-26 recruitment season. Our focus is building a more diverse workforce that reflects our community. Initial vacancies are now posted, with additional positions expected following the March staffing recommendation. And finally, District 94 participated in our first job fair of the year, the IASPA virtual job fair on February 6th, where 4 administrators connected with candidates for the spring hiring season. We're also scheduled to attend additional virtual fairs on March 6th and May 15th, as well as in-person fairs at ISU, North Central, NWPA, the AU mock interviews, and SACID this spring. It'll be a busy hiring season, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Principal's report.
Thank you. I want to begin tonight with a celebration. When we analyze our disciplinary reports from the last 2 years, we see a very positive trend this year. Last school year, we issued 57 out-of-school suspensions during the first semester. During this school year, during that same time, that number was cut by more than 50%, with only 28 out-of-school suspensions issued. During the same time, we also saw a 12% reduction in in-school suspensions issued. This is thanks to our dean's office, our social workers, counselors, and all of our staff who work hand in hand to take a more proactive approach to student discipline by supporting students to make good choices. I also want to start by thanking District 33 for the recent collaboration with our respective BPACs. Last Tuesday night was a great opportunity for our communities to engage in workshops on student goal setting and to see the opportunities this community has to offer students of all ages. I also want to take a moment to recognize our counseling department. Over the past month, they have conducted hundreds of in-person meetings with our soon-to-be Wildcats and their parents to select courses for next year. This work is always long, and time-consuming, but it is a great way for all of our students to begin their high school journeys. On Tuesday, February 4th, the administration hosted a lunch and learn for staff regarding resources and information to support students who may be struggling with immigration or deportation. The lunch was well attended by our staff, and we were able to share the same resources with the entire community through our website. This fast-evolving topic is something we are staying well informed on and working to find as many ways to support our students and families who may be experiencing difficulty at this time. In athletics and activities, I know our student board reps have quite a bit to share, but I do want to just quickly share that our boys and girls teams in basketball have completed their home seasons and both celebrating senior nights in the past week. And we are also have our girls playing for regional basketball in about 15 minutes. So we're hoping for a positive outcome tonight. We have also had a great success in the wrestling this year that our board reps will talk more about as well. In teaching and learning, at the end of next week, February 28th, is the annual DuPage County-wide workshop. Will be held across all DuPage schools. As always, we will be hosting many workshops on campus for various staff and sending many of our staff to workshops across the county. This event is a great way to embed best practices into our instruction across all of the curricular areas. I also want to thank our entire staff who participated in a drop-in session on January 31st regarding grading practices and procedures. As the board is aware, 3 years ago, we aligned our grading practices with many of the tenets from Joe Feldman's Grading for Equity book. As we are further into that journey, we took time to hear from staff and to allow all staff to provide feedback on what is working and what could be improved upon in our grading practices. We are now in the process of sorting through that feedback in order to assess our next steps. As one point of note, as we analyze our first semester grades this year, we have seen a reduction in the number of non-passing grades as compared to last year. So last year, at the end of first semester, approximately 8.1% of issue grades were failing, and this year that number is 7%. As a brief reminder, also, the textbooks we discussed at our last meeting are now on public display in the district office. I will update the board if we receive any comments on the text at our next COW meeting with the intention to seek formal approval for the textbooks at the regular meeting on March 18th, 2025. And I want to turn it over to our board reps, but last but not least, the monthly attendance and discipline reports are in your packet.
Thank you. Student Board Representative
Can I
reports.
ask a quick
Go ahead.
question first? Well, before I ask my question, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting the lunch on immigration. Obviously, that's a very important topic right now, so thank you for doing that, and I'm glad it was well attended. You know, we get the discipline reports, but it's always just like 1 month's worth. Is it possible to get like a cumulative, like X amount of months it's been since the beginning of the year, so we have the month? Because when you told me this, when you wrote this down in your report, it would be nice to know how many we've had so far this year, the discipline report, instead of just this month.
If you go to the second page on it, I think.
Does that tell
at
me
the
that?
Bottom, the
Am I
bottom
not
right
reading it
corner,
right?
Yeah, the 2025 student occurrences, it should be a 30 there at the last page there.
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't seeing it. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, Student Board Representatives.
Good evening. Recently, there's been a lot happening in the world of sports at WeGo. Both girls and boys basketball recently had their senior nights. The girls program honored Jasmine Trigueros and Alina Velasco, who have been proud members of the program throughout their high school careers. The girls played and beat Ridgewood, which was a very exciting game. Boys basketball had their senior night last Friday, where they recognized Jackson Williams, Anj Parikh, Joe Trigueros, Robert Lee, Ali Khan, Tommy Doyle, and Josh Hardy. The team also took a moment to honor Devin Newcomb. It was a close game, but the boys ended up winning against Elmwood Park. Additionally, the wrestling season is also coming to a close, with girls wrestling having sent Annette H., Sophia Newell, and Barissa B. to sectionals last Friday. Boys wrestling also sent Santino M., Ryan A., Leo R., Brian C., Santino P., and Emmanuel R. to sectionals, where Ryan and Leo won and are now state-bound. The end of January marked the second roar of the year, which went even better than the first. The new phone policies were implemented and worked wonderfully by helping students engage more in the activities with their peers. Ms. Salmon once again spoke to participants about her journey through life and how it led her to WeGo. It was incredibly interesting to hear her story and exciting to know that her book, Existed Prior to Service, has been published. The mentor team also did a fantastic job connecting with students and making the WeGo community a stronger one. At the beginning of February, the last full-day retreat for the Strategic Planning Committee was held, where members reviewed the results of the second meeting and focused efforts on choosing a new mission and vision statement and setting goals for the strategic plan. I would like to thank Perry Swaddell and Dr. Johansson for coordinating and leading the retreats. It was a very enlightening and productive process. Lastly, I'd like to touch on a few activities clubs and classes did to celebrate Valentine's Day. Chamber Choir did their annual singing grams featuring songs including Can't Help Falling in Love, My Girl, and Stand By Me. The Snowball program sold crush cans during lunch periods leading up to Valentine's Day that were then distributed on Friday. Different flavors are coordinated with different messages to send to a friend or significant other. Finally, the foods class sold the custom cookie cakes, which are always a hit. The messages people send are almost as sweet as the cookies. It's nice to see how much love there is in the WeGo community.
Good evening. This past weekend, our chess team competed at the state chess competition, where we placed in the top 30% of all participating teams. 2 of our members advanced to the top matches, securing an impressive 5.5 out of 7 wins. This marks a significant achievement for our team, and I hope to see continued growth and success in the years to come. Our math team continues to excel, recently placing 7th in the WSML League, a strong position that puts us in an excellent spot to advance to the state competition. This Saturday, we will compete at the Regionals Conference, and given our current standing, there's a high likelihood that all grade levels will qualify for state. Our team's dedication and hard work have been truly commendable, and we are excited for the opportunities ahead. Last week, the girls' dance team celebrated senior night with the performance choreographed by one of the team captains and supported by our newest coach Baranowski. This season has been particularly special as many dancers are new to the team, yet they have demonstrated incredible dedication and perseverance. Their hard work paid off as they advanced to regionals, securing a strong ranking, and the team has not only grown in skill but has also fostered an inspiring and supporting environment. And on February 27th, the English department is offering an exciting field trip to attend a live Shakespeare performance in Chicago. This opportunity allows students to experience classical literature in a dynamic and engaging setting, deepening their appreciation for the arts. Similar trips were organized last year, and it would be wonderful to see more departments implement hands-on learning experiences like this in the future. And I'll be attending the trip myself, and I look forward to learning to see how the experience is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kashika and Lauren. Superintendent's report.
On Thursday, February 6th, we conducted our final full-day strategic planning retreat with a focus on setting the direction for our district. The Setting Direction retreat provided our strategic planning team with an opportunity to develop a shared understanding of the current mission, vision, core values, and strategic themes, and then build upon those ideas to move our district forward in answering the question, where do we want to be 5 years from now that is different than where we are today? Our goal was to verify long-range goals, indicators and measures, and then prioritize strategies that need the most attention to move our district towards continuous improvement. At the conclusion of the session, the team developed a draft of the strategic plan. From there, we created a survey in order to solicit feedback from our students, staff, and families. The feedback from the survey will be used to inform, guide, and modify our strategic plan during our final virtual meeting on February 20th. All of the documents from the session can be found in your packet. And as a reminder, all of the information discussed throughout the strategic planning process is posted to our website. A few final key dates. We are nearing the end here of this 7-month process, which is exciting for everybody. Those 3 full-day sessions were, I think somebody summed it up very nicely, exhausting, right? I was waiting for somebody to say that. We do just a one-word report out from each table that we have, and finally somebody kind of broke free and said, yeah, I'm tired. But it was a good tired, and it was very positive. So tomorrow night from 5 to 7, our team is going to take in all the feedback from the surveys that we pushed out last week and closed them last night, and we got a lot of positive feedback. Just a brief overview from the 13 questions that were asked, whether you can agree with and support or not. The lowest rated one was a 95% approval, and it ranged as high as 98%. I'll give you a detailed summary of those here next week and report back out next month as to what those summary results detailed, and then the findings from our final planning meeting. Keep in mind March 4th at the COW, We're going to have some of our students help with a presentation of our strategic plan. So at that time, if you have any questions, please make sure to bring your questions so we can then modify our plan accordingly and then hope for final approval at the March 18th board meeting. The Freedom of Information Act request, we have received 6 FOIA requests since the last regular Board of Education meeting. Julie has responded within the required time frame, and these requests have been included in your packets. This concludes my report.
Just a comment on the FOIAs. I found it interesting that several of them were generated by our own student body. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
nice to see that they're
Yeah.
digging into the news.
That was good.
They're keeping Julie quite busy.
A little bit.
Thank you, Kurt. Committee and representative reports.
So there's only one committee report to report on this evening. That is the Legislative Education Network of DuPage. The LEN team met virtually on Friday, January 24th. Both Dan and Gary were also in attendance. There were many topics discussed, but I'd like to highlight the following. The first one is the dual credit Senate Bill 1960 was revised and introduced by Senator Castro on February 6th. A very high-level overview is that this bill intends to improve opportunities for students by reducing barriers for such items as partnership and credentialing. The second item is employee evaluations. That's Senate Bill 28, introduced by Senator Lightford. This bill would provide school districts with the opportunity to utilize student growth for teacher and administrator evaluations, but would not require this as a component. So that could be a significant one to watch here in the future. The LEN presentation has been included in your packet. The next LEN meeting is scheduled for Friday, February 28th. This concludes my committee report.
Thank you for that, Kurt. Future dates. We have a committee of the whole meeting coming up on March 4th. I believe that's Fat Tuesday, so we should have some punch keys for that. We have a regular Board of Education meeting on March 18th. That brings us to board members' open comments.
Sad to report that Joel Morris, who was our superintendent 32 some years ago, passed away. He's got a memorial service, visitation on Thursday. I think you circulated that email. He was superintendent when I came on board, and he was the Illinois Superintendent of the Year, I believe, in 1992. So it's been 32 years since we've had a Superintendent of the Year, and maybe we should be thinking about another one coming up soon.
Got to work on that.
Pressure.
Also, I received, and I assume everybody else did, an email from Barb Lyman's requesting some information and some thoughts. I assume that would show up in the public comment, but maybe there's a different mechanism for getting public comment in as opposed to just an email coming in that's addressing issues that the board would be discussing. So
There is a specific method where they fill out a specific comment form to have it as part of public comment. So that was just an email to the board members.
Right. I guess I looked at it like, something to be brought up and potentially discuss.
Well, certainly, if anybody wishes to bring up any of those questions later in the meeting, we certainly can. I did issue a reply to her, thanking her for her comments, and I did point her back to the video of our COW meeting where a lot of those topics that she brought up were discussed in the past. But certainly, if anybody wishes to bring up any of those questions later, that's certainly fair game.
All right. That's good for me.
Anybody else with open comment? Any future issues?
Parking. Parking on board meeting.
You'd like a parking garage?
No, but I'm wondering when we send the agendas out, if you could give us a heads up that there's other stuff going on at the meeting so we could plan on trying to get here a little early or just coming into a different parking lot. I circled for about 10 minutes trying to find an open spot, and finally I went to the back lot, so.
Cones are good.
Or parking in the front in the bus line.
Yeah, you can park in the bus lane.
Or I can pick you up from your house.
You're going for that superintendent of the year, aren't you?
I'm trying. He set the
That's
bar
one
high.
way to get there.
A shuttle bus or something. Anyway, it would be good just to have a heads up that there are other things going on, because sometimes it's easy to find a spot, sometimes it's very difficult, especially when it's 5 below. So just a request.
All right. That brings us to consent agenda. Does anybody wish any items removed from the consent agenda for separate action? Hearing none, the recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda for the minutes, financials, and reports, the donations above $500, the personnel report, and closed session meeting minutes and audio recordings as presented.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Casey Mayer,
Aye.
Mr. Amos,
Aye.
Ms. Munoz. Aye. Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Mr. Sake.
Aye.
Mr. Suniga.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye. Motion carries. There being no old business, we move to new business. Bishop Gym refinishing bid approval. The recommended motion is the Board of Education approve the bid from Kiefer USA, Lindenhurst, Illinois, in the amount of $92,710, which includes the base bid plus alternate number 1 and number 2.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Was that working directly through us, or is that going through Allied as well?
That's working through us.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amos,
Aye.
Ms. Munoz. Aye. Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Mr. Sake.
Aye.
Mr. Suniga.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer.
Motion carries. Summer Construction, Olson Roofing Tips Contract Approval. The recommended motion is that the Board of Education approve the proposal from Olson Roofing, Inc., Aurora, Illinois, to replace the specified roof section for a total of $323,655 as outlined in the provided proposal.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Now, that's involving Allied, as I recall.
Yeah, Allied will help us, help to oversee that.
So is the bid going through them?
The bid is not going through them. It had to go through the, straight with, between Olson Roofing and the TIPS contract, because the district themselves were the ones that have that TIPS membership, where Allied would not have that. So we had to go directly between the two of us. But Allied will help to oversee it.
As like construction manager or something?
Correct.
For a fee?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll point out that Allied was instrumental in identifying that we could do an overlay and save, what, about $150,000 with the same warranty,
That's a good thing.
which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Munoz.
Aye.
Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Mr. Sake.
Aye.
Mr. Suniga.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer.
Aye.
Mr. Amos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Landscaping services proposals. First, Dynasty. The recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the proposal from Dynasty Landscaping, Wayne, Illinois, for lawn maintenance on the east side of the high school in the amount of $1,800 per month, April through November, for the total amount of $14,400, plus any additional landscaping maintenance work at $55 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
That runs from Ann Street to the first house on Joliet, then,
Correct.
to the parking lot?
Yes.
Else? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Mr. Sake.
Aye.
Mr. Suniga.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer.
Aye.
Mr. Amos.
Aye.
Ms. Munoz.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Just a quick question. Who takes care of the grass on the parking lot side of Ann? Is that part of
Parking lot, which side?
Like on the south side?
would be the south side of Ann where the parking lot is? Is that part of the contract?
No, that's our staff.
Okay.
Okay, the next landscaping piece is for True Green. The recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the proposal to fertilize District 94 grounds from True Green in the amount of $17,444.68.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sake.
Aye.
Mr. Zuniga. Aye. Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer.
Aye.
Mr. Ramos.
Aye.
Ms. Munoz.
Aye.
Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Motion carries. Appendix B recommendation. The recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the addition of 1 head coach and 2 assistant coaches for IHSA girls flag football, Appendix B Group 4, beginning in the 2025 to 2026 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zuniga.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer.
Aye.
Mr. Ramos.
Aye.
Ms. Munoz.
Aye.
Mr. Nagel.
Aye.
Mr. Sig.
Aye.
Motion carries. Updated administrative job descriptions. The recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the new and updated administrative job descriptions as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have a couple questions. It seems with the strategic plan coming into effect, maybe this is a little early to reorganize everything without kind of stepping back and looking at the strategic plan and then, folding this in. It seems like, depending on how the strategic plan comes out, there may be some impact on some of these positions.
Yeah, and that's where I've had the benefit of being heavily involved in both and watching the process move forward with the strategic plan and understanding where we're at right now and making sure that our organizational chart aligns with the direction in which the plan is headed. I feel very confident that they're going to be lockstep with each other.
Is there a particular reason why we need to approve this at this time rather than wait for a little more information on the strategic plan?
We're not going to gain any additional information that's going to change the outcome of the organizational chart.
Is executive director, is that a typical title in the educational area? I don't think we've ever had an executive director. My concern at some of the details of the positions is that it may make it harder for us to attract personnel later on, as opposed to just directors and then the job description itself would go into the detail. It seems unusual to be putting so much detail into a job title as opposed to a job description.
If you recall from our conversation 2 weeks ago, the reason why we had to identify different layers was that it became very convoluted. So we had directors that were at different positions throughout the organizational chart. It became difficult to understand who was where in the flow of the organization. So to your initial question, is it uncommon? It's not uncommon. There are districts that do incorporate executive directors. A lot of times that layer is called assistant superintendents, but I thought that was probably a little, really, I think that using the term assistant superintendent in a district our size, I think it gives off the wrong impression. So there had to be a way to delineate between the director's role and then the cabinet level role. So the next logical step was to name them executive directors.
And that is a common term. Somebody that was looking at a job opening would understand what would be involved in that. Okay.
Is there, can I just ask real quickly about the job descriptions encouraging fluency in Spanish and English? Are we making requirements for Spanish or?
Not making requirements, right? We are always encouraging that.
Encouraging, okay.
Correct. We are always encouraging that, but we're not making any requirements.
Okay.
In one of the job descriptions, and I don't have it written, there was a term MTSS. Again, acronyms, and I couldn't find any reference in the rest of the information. What is MTSS?
Multi-tiered systems of supports.
Oh, of course.
I can't believe that you missed that one, Rich. So what that looks at, what it looks like is it looks at a true comprehensive approach to providing interventions both from an academic and a social emotional standpoint through Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 interventions. So it's formalizing that process now and ensuring that one person in particular, a director of climate culture, oversees that process to ensure continuity between the academic and the social and emotional interventions.
Are some of these job titles unique to us? Climate and culture seem kind of odd, out of the ordinary? Is that something that somebody would see and go, oh yeah, I know exactly what that means?
I think it's unique to our organization, but not unique in the field of education.
Okay, so I guess would it make sense to have something that's a little less unique to us to be able to make sure that we're able to attract?
If the concern is attracting, that would not be a concern at all, from my perspective. I think people in the field of education that are going to be attracted to a job of that nature know exactly what that entails. And when they look at the job description, they're going to understand exactly what that job is required, what's required of them through that job description.
Was staff consulted before these changes were considered or implemented, or, once the organizational chart was designed?
Were they consulted before or after?
Before.
Before, no, they were not. No. So when you're developing an organizational chart that requires this amount of movement, my first priority is to bring it to the board first. I think if you bring it to the staff before the board, then I get out of line with board processes and protocols, because ultimately you have to be comfortable with what the structure is before I can roll it out to the staff. So and since it involves the movement of some staff, there's also some confidentiality that has to be at play as well. Mm-hmm.
But you've had input from people, obviously, along the way.
Most
Yes,
certainly.
yes.
Most certainly. The input has been from the administrative level. And then after tonight's meeting, an email will be going out to our staff. So let me back up. After our COW meeting, this draft was sent out to our staff without names attached to it, letting them know that we talked about an open session, and if they had any questions or concerns, to bring it to either their immediate supervisor or myself. After tonight's meeting, once it's approved, the organizational chart with names will go out, and then Dr. Dwyer, the executive directors, will be meeting with each department individually that has been impacted by a change in supervisor by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Sounds like it's being handled in a very open way.
Very open and very transparent.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer?
Aye.
Ms. Doremus?
Aye.
Ms. Munoz?
Aye.
Mr. Niegel?
Abstain. I need to see a few more pieces of the puzzle put together before I can agree, but I'm not necessarily a no.
Mr. Sake?
Aye.
And Mr. Suniga?
Aye.
Motion carries. Organizational chart effective July 1, 2025. The recommended motion that the Board of Education approve the updated organizational chart for the 2025 to 26 school year as presented.
Moved.
Second. Oh, go right ahead, Giovanni.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Casey Mayer?
Aye.
Ms. Doremus?
Aye.
Ms. Munoz?
Aye.
Mr. Niegel?
Abstain, same reason.
Mr. Sake?
Aye.
Mr. Suniga?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye. Motion carries. All right, that completes our agenda for open session items. We will be going into executive session. There will be no action taken after executive session. The recommended motion of the Board of Education hold a closed session at 7:43 p.m. for the purposes of exception number 1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specifically superintendent evaluation, and exception number 12, litigation, when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, specifically pending litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Doremus?
Aye.
Ms. Munoz?
Aye.
Mr. Niegel?
Aye.
Mr. Sake?
Aye.
Mr. Suniga?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Casey Mayer?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. We're going into the executive session. Why don't we take 5? We got stones tonight. I'm only partially kidding about the punch keys for, for the next cow.
Check in with
I
me
think that's a great
like midday tomorrow.
We always get punch keys in my
So
family.
one
Good
of the
stuff.
mentions was actually a divorced spouse who the employee had not notified the district that they were divorced. So that depended on how it was done. And went through the audit, they said, can't insure that person, so they were dropped. The second was an employee who didn't provide any information during the audit. Now, I brought